this is Tyler with Tandem Cross. Today, we'll be bringing an in-depth installation and some recommendations for stock mounting on your Manticore X lower. The rest of the videos will be playlisted alongside this one and will likely answer any other questions you may have about this lower, so be sure to check out the rest of the videos in this series. As a friendly reminder, these instructions are also in written form on our website. Always be sure to refer back to that for any of the newest information for tips and tricks, or in the case of any revisions to either the products or the base firearm. As you're dealing with firearms, please be sure to check the firearm itself as well as the work area to remove any ammunition, and always be wearing the appropriate safety gear. For the fasteners shown in this video, we recommend the use of medium strength blue Loctite with all of them. This installation in the series will be the most open-ended of all of them, as much of this comes down to user preference and the configurations of the firearm, but we'll offer some guidance and rules of thumb where applicable. To mount the rear components to your Manticore X, gather the following components. We have the rear Picatinny segment, the rear QD sling swivel cylinder, as well as the long 1/4-20 screw for mounting these two components into the rear of your Manticore X lower. Additionally, you will need a 3/16 Allen key for this installation step. If you've purchased one of our AR-15 Hive grips in the bundle alongside your Manticore X, this Allen key will be provided with the grip. With this, you have a couple of different options at this point. You can install the QD cup either on the right side or on the left side. Additionally, with the Picatinny stump, you can either mount it in a 12-degree downward slant, which would be at home for use with a low-mounted red dot or a scope on low rings or factory iron sights, or the inline version where the stock comes straight back, so it's going to give you more AR style handling and to be used with the appropriate height optic risers. I will set this up according to the way I like it, but of course, everyone has their own way and we want to give the options whenever possible. So to do that, I'll go in line with the QD cup on the left side, take your 1/4-20 bolt, drop that into the Picatinny component, slip the QD cylinder over that, line that up with the hole in the back of your lower, and then proceed to tighten the bolt in and cinch that whole stack together. These parts are removable if you want to, but to ensure a gap-free and rattle-free fit, this rear stump is designed to flex a small amount around that QD cylinder. The Picatinny component will be held tight to that sling mount if you remove the parts. A tap with a rubber mallet can pop the two parts away from each other, but this would not be recommended as a field level configuration change. If you're unsure of which configuration would be best, you can tighten the stack together just until you feel a little bit of biting here, and then do a dry run of the installation before committing to a configuration and really cinching down with that set screw. We will show the rest of the installation with our very own Picatinny folding stock. Keep in mind that this will accept any Picatinny mounted stock or brace, sling mount, any sort of pick rail adapter for a buffer tube, whatever you really like. If you have our stock, that does confer a couple of really nice, unique benefits though. First, it can be made to fold either to the left or to the right. Additionally, there are two mount height options concerning the hinge to the rear of your lower, as well as two height options of where the arm of the stock mounts into the hinge assembly. So depending on your optic setup and your receiver, height of rails differs from aftermarket manufacturer to aftermarket manufacturer, as well as any add-on rail you may have if this is an OEM receiver. So we want to give the maximum amount of adjustability available so that you can find that perfect cheek weld height. For this build, I'll be putting it together in a pretty common configuration that I happen to really like. And this type of setup is really well suited for AR style, lower third co-witness height or thereabout red dot mounts with a left side fold on the stock. To do this, you will need to get a 4mm Allen key and take your hinge assembly out of the bag. And then we'll first take this cap head screw that is on the side and loosen it, holding onto the piece that the other end of the screw is threading into. So just slide out that screw for now. And then proceed to slide this assembly, still holding onto that little slider element, over your Picatinny rail. And as I said, this will be a left side fold configuration, and you can tell the piece with the 2 holes is on the left side of the receiver. If I wanted to do this in a right side fold way, I would mount this like so, where the 2-hole piece is on the right side. One of the reasons I prefer a left side fold is that it completely avoids any potential interference between your stock or brace of choice and, say, your charging handle on a standard 1022 or the path of ejection. If the stock is on the other side, there's nowhere for it to hang up where it shouldn't. Now, once it's slid on, just sight down in, and you'll see through the hole on the side of the hinge. Once the hole has lined up with one of the cross slots in the Picatinny, you can go ahead and thread your M4 cap head screw back in, snug it up. And here you have a choice. There's 2 different cross slots on this Picatinny, so I've mounted this here in the low configuration. Alternatively, I could shift this up a little bit and then make it a little bit higher. This will all depend on the optic that I am using, the receiver that I'm using, shape of my face, whatever, gets you to where you want to be. So I just shifted this up until I hit that next cross slot. Thread this back down and tighten it. So let's keep rolling in the high mount configuration. At this point, we can take the stock arm and remove the little countersunk screw on the end of it. And then we can line this up with the holes on the back of that 2-hole part of the hinge, like so. And then here we have another choice. Low mount will have this threaded hole lining up with the bottom hole here, or high mount lining up at the top. This, again, will depend on the height of your optics and whatever feels best for you. I'll go ahead and put in the low. Give that a nice good snug down. And now you can test out the stock. To deploy it, you'll just hinge this away. And then to collapse it, in the case of a left side fold, you'll be lifting the stock up and then swinging it to the side. For right hand fold, it'll be the opposite. Instead of a lift, you'll be pulling the stock down and then swinging it across. So at this point, you can choose to alter the configuration in any way that you prefer, whether you want to raise or lower at the hinge or raise and lower at the arm to suit your optic stack and how you are intending to use the firearm. And I'll show what that looks like here. So in this case, for me, I prefer a relatively low cheek weld and a high optic, and this setup feels just right for me, and you can tune it to whatever is just right for you. Especially for anyone who wants to opt for the right side fold, now is a great time to make sure that your stock height is proper so that it doesn't interfere with your charging handle or your ejection path. Neither of those are game ending. It's just something to be aware of, that in your preferred configuration, it's possible that you may have to deploy the stock before running the charging handle. It might be interfering. Thanks for sticking with us. That completes the stock angle and mounting portion. Be sure to check back in our previous installations as well as upcoming videos in the Manticore X video series. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned and like and subscribe for more.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video on whatever social media platform you use. I'm Luke with Tandem Cross, and we're here to make your good guns great. Keep up with us on social media for daily updates. I'll see you next time.